Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's topic is cardiomyopathies, types, causes, and its pathogenesis. While during the lecture, we will go through, or by the end of lecture, student must know types of cardiomyopathies, causes of cardiomyopathy,
Hello. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sorry for delay. There was interruption in the computer or power failure, so I joined again. Today's topic is cardiomyopathies, its type, pathogenesis, and its causes. While going through the lecture or at the end of the lecture, student must know types of cardiomyopathies, causes of cardiomyopathies, morphology of cardiomyopathies, and morphology of cardiomyopathies, pathogenesis, clinical manifestation of this disease, and there are some types of myocarditis as included in this topic. Excuse me, ये slide नहीं move कर रही. ये next slide नहीं जा रही. Okay. By definition, it is the primary disorder of heart muscle that causes abnormal myocardial performance, and it is not result of disease or dysfunction of other cardiac structures like myocardial infarction, systemic hypertension, valvular stenosis, and regurgitation. It is primarily the disorder of cardiac muscle. In this disease, cardiomyopathy, the heart becomes abnormally enlarged, thickened, and stiff. So it affects its ability to pump blood or to receive blood. Both functions are disturbed. It could not receive adequate amount of blood, and the heart muscle could not pump blood out. And it is progressive and may lead to cardiac failure. The classification of this cardiomyopathy include primary is unknown cause, and it could be divided into dilated cardiomyopathy where the main dysfunction is systolic, and then there is a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the main diastolic dysfunction, and then there is a restrictive cardiomyopathy, and there are secondary causes which may lead to cardiomyopathy that include, and there are infective causes, infection, viral infections, immunological disorders, dystrophies, idiopathic where cause is unknown, metabolic disorders, systemic diseases that may lead to cardiomyopathy, and there are hereditary and familial disorders, hypersensitivity, autoimmune, and toxic like chemotherapeutic agent, cobalt. Classification, as I told you briefly in previous slide. Now, primary cardiomyopathy predominantly confined to heart muscle, while secondary is a consequence of secondary disorder that may lead to myocardial dysfunction as a component of secondary disorder. It could be a systemic or a multi-organ disorder that lead to that affect cardiac muscle as well. And in case of primary, the cardiac muscle is involved primarily, and it will lead to cardiac failure. The classification is functional, clinical, and called as pathological classification. It includes the functional disorder as well and the clinical manifestation as well. As dilated cardiomyopathy is also called congestive dilated cardiomyopathy or idiopathic cardiac dilatation. There is a ventricular enlargement and systolic dysfunction. Then there is a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It is also called inappropriate myocardial hypertrophy in the absence of hypertension and aortic stenosis. Then there is a restrictive infiltrative cardiomyopathy that lead to abnormal filling because there is a cardiac muscle is stiffened due to infiltrative fibrosis, and that the cardiac tissue is unable to relax to receive the venous return. Now we will discuss the individual cardiomyopathies. A disease of unknown etiology, principally affecting the myocardium. There is a left ventricular dilatation and systolic dysfunction. Its pathology include increased heart size, weight, and lead to ventricular dilatation, normal wall, but the wall thickness is normal. There is a ventricular dilatation, but the thickness of the wall is normal. Cardiac dysfunction out of proportion to the fibrosis. What does it mean? There is a cardiac dysfunction is more than the fibrosis. You can see this is the normal cardiac diagram, and here you can see the left ventricular is dilated and flabby. It is dilated cardiomyopathy. Here in case of hypertrophic, the cardiac muscle is hypertrophied, increased muscle mass, and that is lead to decrease internal volume of left ventricle. So there is reduced filling and reduced pumping capacity. Here in case of restrictive, there is a fibrostic element in the cardiac tissue that causes the decreased relaxation or the decreased filling of the left ventricular. Incidence and prognosis. There are 3 to 10 cases per 100,000, 20,000 new cases per year in as per USA data. Death from progressive cardiac failure or pump failure. In case of as the disease progress, there is an increase mortality. In first year, the mortality is death rate is 25%, while in second year it is 35 to 40%, and at fifth year the death rate reaches up to 80%. Time patient is stabilized. In case of 20 to 50% of the patient, complete recovery is rare. Highest incidents occur in middle age. Black people are more frequently involved than the white. Men are 3 times more frequently get this disease than women. Symptoms may be gradual onset. Sometimes there is an acute presentation that can be misdiagnosed as upper respiratory viral infection. There are uncommon to find specific myocardial disease on endomyocardial biopsy. So on biopsy, there is no specific finding that may tell the cause of the disease. Here, there's a dilated. There are different cardiomyopathies and incidence of and the rate of left ventricular ejection fraction. In case of dilated cardiomyopathy, there is less than 40% ejection fraction. The cardiac pumping ability is less than 40%. And the mechanism of heart failure is there is a impairment of contractility, systolic dysfunction. The main causes are the genetic, alcohol, peripartum, myocarditis, hemochromatosis, which is iron overload, chronic anemia, doxorubicin, that is toxicity of chemotherapy, infiltrative disorder, sarcoidosis, and idiopathic. There are other disorders, systemic, that may mimic cardiac dysfunction. They can occur like cardiomyopathy, but it is the systemic disorder. It is not primary cardiac dysfunction. In case of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the ejection fraction is 50 to 80%. There is impairment of compliance, that due to hypertrophy, the volume of left ventricle is reduced. So it's a diastolic dysfunction. Again, the cause is genetic and storage disorders. In case of restrictive cardiomyopathy, 40 to 90%, 45 to 90%, there is an impaired compliance of diastolic. Main causes of restrictive cardiomyopathies are amyloidosis, radiation-induced fibrosis, and idiopathic. Here is the long list of causes that can lead to cardiomyopathy of different varieties: cardiac infections, neuromuscular disorders, immunological disorders, toxins, metabolic dysfunctions, and infiltrative. You must know the common ones like in toxins, alcohol can cause cardiomyopathy. In case of storage disorders, glycogen storage, glycolipid, and amyloidosis can cause cardiomyopathies. In case of metabolic disorders, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, hypokalemia, and nutritional deficiency may also lead to cardiomyopathy. And then there is a iron overload. Now we will discuss the each type in detail. Dilated cardiomyopathy. Chamber thickness is not increase, but there is a left ventricular is dilated. It mostly occur in adults, and there is a progressive decline in left ventricular ejection fraction. Means the left ventricular pumping capability or ability is reduced, and it is related to prognosis. The more left ventricular ejection fraction is reduced, there is the more worse prognosis. 50% die within the 2 years of diagnosis. There are three main causes of dilated cardiomyopathy: is myocarditis due to infections, and there is alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy, and adriamycin. Adriamycin is a chemotherapeutic agent that cause toxicity of cardiac tissue. Here, in case of dilated cardiomyopathy, there is a progressive cardiac dilatation. As I told you, there is progressive dilatation of that chamber. It is not the hypertrophy or increase in muscle of that left ventricular mass. Contractile dysfunction is present. There is a systolic dysfunction. There is some amount of concomitant hypertrophy, but it is not actually the hypertrophy of the muscle. It is the dilatation of the chamber, sometimes also called the congestive cardiomyopathy. As you can see morphologically, gross morphology, this is the normal heart, and you can see the left ventricle muscle and all the both atria. Here in case you can clearly notice the left ventricular chamber is dilated, flabby, and heavy, and it's enlarged, while the muscle is not increased. Due to dilatation of the muscle, there is stasis of the flow, and that may cause thrombus formation, and that thrombi can lead to emboli. No primary valve dysfunction, no mitral or tricuspid regurgitation. Actually, the valves are normal, the walls are normal, but it is the dilatation. It can lead to a functional defect in valves later on at the end stage of disease, but not the anatomical or structural defect. There is it could be the four-chamber dilatation, hypertrophy. Some amount of hypertrophy is also present, and you can see the fibrotic interstitial fibrosis is not. There is a minimal amount of fibrosis, and in first few slides I told you the functional defect is out of proportion to the interstitial fibrosis. It is the pathogenesis include the genetic cause is the main. and it is present up to 50% of the cases. The genetic disorders are present, but there is acquired myocardial insult is also there. Interaction of the both genetic and environmental causes lead to dilated cardiomyopathies. There are include in pathogenesis, the inflammatory disorder or myocarditis also cause development of this dilated cardiomyopathies. And in case of toxicity, especially chemotherapeutic agent, as I told you earlier, adriamycin and chronic alcohol use may also lead to this type of cardiomyopathy. Alcohol may cause multifactorial effect. It can cause direct toxicity. It may lead to nutritional deficiency, especially by B12 deficiency. And direct toxicity is caused by acetaldehyde, its metabolite product. And in at least about 10 to 20% of the cases, history of alcohol is present. Then comes the childbirth. There is a peripartum period, 1 month before childbirth and 1 month after childbirth. This type of cardiomyopathy can occur. And again, in case of this peripartum cardiomyopathy, it is the multifactorial etiology. It is there is a volume overload, hypertension, immunological disorders that can lead to this disease. Then comes the myocarditis. For dilated cardiomyopathy, progression of myocarditis is there is an inflammation secondary to viral infections, and especially Coxsackie B virus and other enterovirus that can cause inflammation of the myocardium and leading to dilated cardiomyopathy. Then comes the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It is also called idiopathic hypertrophic subaortic stenosis. As due to hypertrophy, there is stenosis of the aorta. That's why it is called idiopathic hypertrophic subaortic stenosis. About 100% of the cases, in case of hypertrophic, it's the genetic defect that cause hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. In case of dilated, it is up to 50% of the cases the genetic defects are involved. Here, in case of hypertrophic, there's 100% it's a genetic defect, and the defect lead to beta myosin heavy chain that may disrupt troponin T, alpha tropomyosin, and myosin binding protein C. Massive hypertrophy, asymmetric septum, interventricular septum, and disarray of myocyte, and interstitial fibrosis. This is the actual pathology because of this genetic defects. It will, and these asymmetric hypertrophy lead to decreased chamber volume, decreased stroke volume output, and decreased diastolic filling. Poorly compliant left ventricular myocardium, and there is a decreased ventricular abnormal diastolic filling. 1/3 of the cases intermittent ventricular outflow obstruction due to hypertrophy, leading cause of left ventricular hypertrophy unexplained by other clinical pathological causes. There is abnormal growth of muscle fibers in the cardiac, in heart muscle, usually the left ventricular, but it may involve other chamber as well. Volume of the left ventricle is normal or reduced. There is additional muscle fiber prevent the chamber from relaxing, so the chamber is not completely filled during diastole, and there is a diastolic dysfunction primarily. Systolic dysfunction is due to outflow obstruction, and diastolic dysfunction due to impaired diastolic filling and increased filling pressure. There is also a myocardial ischemia because the muscle mass is increased, filling pressure is increased, there is increased oxygen demand and decreased vasodilator reserve. That all lead to myocardial ischemia. Clinical manifestation depend upon the severity of the disease. It could be completely asymptomatic, or some patient may have symptoms. 90% of the patient may present with dyspnea, angina in 75% of the cases, fatigue, syncopal attacks, increased risk of sudden cardiac death, and there are palpitation, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, congestive heart failure, but dizziness is less frequent. In case of morphology, massive myocardial hypertrophy usually without ventricular dilatation. In case of dilated cardiac myopathy, there is ventricular dilatation, but hypertrophy is not primarily present. There is disproportionate thickening of the ventricular septum as compared to the lateral walls. Means the septum is disproportionately more thickened as compared to lateral walls of the ventricle, and it is almost with the ratio of 1:3. Asymmetric septal hypertrophy is also present in about 10% of the cases. Only septum is hypertrophied, wall is of normal size. You can see in these pictures there are different varieties of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. There is a symmetrical hypertrophy. The whole septum and the lateral walls are equally thickened. And in case of asymmetric septal hypertrophy without obstruction, there is the septum is more hypertrophy, but the lateral wall is normal. So it is called the asymmetrical septal hypertrophy, and it accounts for the 65% of the cases. And then there is a apical hypertrophy in which only apex cardiac muscle of apex is involved and it is hypertrophied. It is only 10% of the cases, while symmetrical hypertrophy is present in about 30 to 35% of the cases. Here you can, on autopsy, this the gross picture of cardiac muscle showing the this septum, which is hugely involved, and lateral wall is also hypertrophied. And due to this septum hypertrophic septum, this is outflow is obstruction. There is outflow obstruction, and you can see there is a hypertrophy of muscle, cardiac muscle, in the histological section. The anterior mitral leaflet has been moved away from the septum to leave a fibrous gland. It is like this description is about this gross picture of cardiac muscle. Here you can see different types of cardiac myopathies. This is the normal cardiac diagram, and you can see the chamber and the thickness. Here you can appreciate the left ventricular cardiac dilatation, but the thickness of the left ventricular wall is normal. And you can compare the right ventricle and left ventricle. The left ventricular large, weakened, and it is flabby. While in case of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, you can appreciate the thickness of the wall of the left ventricle. As I told you, the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is mainly due to the genetic defect that is causing the hypertrophy. A mutation in any one of the several genes that encode sarcomeric protein. So any mutation that causes leading to sarcomeric proteins, it is an autosomal dominant with variable penetrance. The remaining cases are sporadic mutation. Prognosis of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy varies widely according to and correlates with the specific mutations. Then comes the restrictive cardiomyopathy. It's most of the time its idiopathic cause is unknown, and it is mainly affecting the diastolic dysfunction. As the name indicates, it is the fibrotic element in the cardiac muscle causing the cardiac tissue to inhibit the relaxation, or there is a reduced relaxation during diastolic period, so there is a decreased filling. Normal chamber size and normal thickness. The chamber size and the thickness of wall is not altered, but there is a due to fibrotic element in the cardiac tissue, the relaxation is, or the filling of the cardiac or the ventricle is affected. It is in most of the cases, it is the subendocardium that is involved, and there is a fibrotic element present in the subendocardial tissue. According to that, there are three, it is divided into three different types of restrictive cardiomyopathies. There is endomyocardial fibrosis, and it is the fibrotic element present in the endomyocardial tissue. It is mostly affecting the African children or young adults. Then there is a Loeffler's endomyocarditis. In case there is a eosinophilic infiltrate present in the subendocardial tissue that is causing the damage to the cardiac tissue and causing the increased fibrotic element. And then there is a endocardial fibroelastosis. There is fibroelastic tissue is increasing, and it is rare and only usually present in infants. The main dysfunction is abnormal dysfunction, rigid ventricular wall with impaired ventricular filling. Due to the fibrotic tissue, the ventricular wall is rigid, and so there is a reduced ventricular filling. There is a functional resemblance to the restrictive pericarditis. The clinical manifestations, symptoms of right and left ventricular failure. It's just like the heart failure, jugular venous pressure, prominent X and Y waves, and echo can tell about the abnormal mitral inflow pattern, prominent E wave, and reduced deceleration time, increased left atrial pressure. There are other cardiomyopathies apart from these main types or prototypes. Is the ischemic cardiomyopathy, a lack of blood flow to the heart as a result of coronary artery disease or MI. Valvular cardiomyopathy caused by cardiac valve disease, which restrict the natural flow of blood through the heart. And then there is a hypertensive cardiomyopathy. As you remember in earlier, in first few slides, I told you most of the time the cardiomyopathy is the primary disorder where there's a unknown cause or a genetic cause, but there are systemic causes that can lead to the cardiomyopathies, and here are the example of these the cardiomyopathies: ischemic cardiomyopathy, valvular cardiomyopathy, and hypertensive cardiomyopathy. Now comes the myocarditis. As the name indicates, it is the inflammation of myocardium, and it is chiefly there is a infective cause for these myocarditis. The prototype is Coxsackie AB virus, cytomegalovirus, HIV, trypanosoma, trichinosis, toxoplasmosis, Lyme disease, and diphtheria can lead to myocarditis. It could be autoimmune disorder, post-viral, rheumatic, or SLE, drug-induced hypersensitivity like alpha-methyl dopa and sulfur drug can cause immunological reaction. You can appreciate this is the cardiac tissue, and there is a lymphocyte infiltrate is present in the cardiac tissue. This is the histological picture of viral myocarditis, where there is an increased lymphocytic infiltrate in between the cardiac muscles. There are other causes of myocarditis like adriamycin. It is the chemotherapeutic agent that lead to cardiac toxicity, cyclophosphamide, catecholamines, amyloid, and it could be the systemic or primary cardiac amyloidosis. And Congo red stain, it is the green bifringence with the polarization. It is abnormal protein that infiltrate the amyloid, that is called the amyloid, and it is infiltrating the cardiac tissue, leading to the increased fibrotic element. There is also myocarditis due to heme chromatosis. Heme chromatosis is a disease in which there is an abnormal iron overload, and that can be picked by on histological section by staining with the Prussian blue stain. And then hypothyroidism can also lead to myocarditis. This is the end of the lecture. If there is any question, you can ask the question. Is there any question? Is there any question?
हेलो
हेलो।
जी मैम, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहा है अभी।
ठीक है, फिर क्लोज कर दें। ओके, मे आई क्लोज द प्रेजेंटेशन?